Hello. All right, let me come over to the comments to see who is in the house. Oh, okay, we have a new member. Hello, Deborah. Dr. Deborah. All right, Doc, let me get that right. Give you your props, my sister, because I know what it takes to get that DR, and it's no joke. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we do meet once a month. So, hopefully, you'll come into our YouTube members meeting, whereas you can ask me questions and we just get real deep and personal. Okay, we got that 101 going on, and you can even come on the screen with me and we can talk 101. So thank you so much, and I really love that time that I have with the YouTube members. All right, so welcome, 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 and I look forward to meeting you at our next one. All right, you guys, we are here. Let's give them a chance to come into the room. Go ahead and give a thumbs up to the chat, because you know that helps push this out a little further. All right. And we are ready to get started with today's episode 12. Can you believe it? Episode 12. Oh my goodness. We have been around here for a minute now. So if you're coming in, do me a favor, give a thumbs up, because that helps push this out a little further. And you can literally see the numbers going up. So if you'll go right over, give that thumbs up, okay? And it's going to help push this out. And also, we do know that if you subscribe, subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, there's going to be a little bell at the top. Hit that bell, and every time I go live, you will be notified via email. Okay, or text message, however you have it set up. Okay. All right, today, y'all, this is kind of like a serious one today. Today we're talking about real-time transits. Okay, and I'm swinging back to this one. We did an episode kind of going over what the transits mean, and I think we actually did a transit in real time, but I need to swing back to this because you need to see how this relates to your everyday life. This one is important because it kind of gives you an umbrella of understanding on how you need to move in your everyday life. And this one is really, really, really important. So important because when we have these major transits happen, you have to know how to move. You like literally need to know what to do and how to do it. All right. And so your birth chart tells you that. I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress how important it is to understand your birth chart. Y'all know I've been screaming this to the mountaintop. Okay. I've been screaming this from the mountaintop into the mountaintop on how important this is to understand. And literally what our birth charts are saying right now, from the transits that are happening in the sky, it is literally playing out in real time. I'm like really literally playing out in real time right now. Hey, hi Antoinette, how are you? So it's important for you not just to understand what transits, and when we say transits, we're talking about the planets moving in the sky, okay? Because they're constantly moving, all right? They're constantly moving. They're constantly going into different houses. They're constantly interacting with your birth chart. And so when these transits happen, when these movements happen, it affects you. I am telling you, it affects you. And you have to understand this. You have to understand it for your own life, because you can make a move that's out of alignment with what's happening right now in your chart, and you can cause an explosion. You can cause a tornado. You can cause a hurricane to happen, and it didn't have to be. All right. So you have to learn how to move. So right now, where the planets are in the sky, it is causing some serious activity down below. It is causing some serious serious exposure. It is causing some serious relation. It is causing our lives to actually, for some, fall victim to what's happening because you don't have an understanding, right? So you really need to have an understanding. You really need to have a thorough understanding and foundation on what moves in your own life. So let me get down here to my paper because y'all know I can go. And the reason I'm really emotional about this today because I'm literally seeing it play out in real life. I'm literally exposure, literally seeing truths that have hidden, bubbling up the top, right? I'm literally seeing people being affected from this in their daily lives. I'm literally seeing people hide away and go in isolation when really this is their time that they're needing to come out and speak, and they're being pushed out. Things, information, people are being pushed to the crevices to come forward now. Okay. And we're seeing some things and we're having to have a realization of some things that is bringing shock to our systems. Okay. It's bringing shock to our minds. It's bringing shock to our spirits and our souls. And we're having to readjust and we're having to reevaluate. This is because as above, so below. All right. So the goal today, let me read to you what the goal today is. The goal today is to teach you how to understand current planetary movements, right? And how this is actively affecting your birth chart. You have to understand this, you guys. I say this every week, even on the private. Hi, TCJ Flash. I say this every week on the Private Life Show. You have to understand the three areas. I say this all the time, you guys. That's why I started this playlist here. That's why I started my blueprint, because I know you have to master the spiritual, which is this part. You have to master the de jure, which is being status corrected and really going back to who you were when you were born into this world. And you have to master the de facto, which is that birth certificate entity. You got to master that. You have to. All right. So let's keep going. So up until now, we've been learning about your birth chart, right? And we've been learning how to read that birth chart, which actually shows how you're wired. Okay, it shows your patterns in life. We can see all of this. We see how these birth patterns and how it relates to your everyday life. But today, I am going to walk you through how things are happening right now. I'm going to prove to you how it is happening right now, right before your eyes. And I'm going to teach you how to read it and how to understand it. Okay? Because astrology is just not something that we're born with. It's not just something that we're born with. And we got to begin to understand that it's something that's constantly occurring and constantly moving in our lives. And we got to be able to get to the point that we can keep up with it and understand it. It's like if I gave you a book and the book had the language of French, okay, or let's say Chinese. And so I'm giving you this book and you may not understand it, right? So that's how astrology is. You're hearing all this stuff. And first of all, we have to get over the indoctrination of it because we've been taught to be afraid of it and think it's demonic, not understanding the King James Bible is filled with it. All of your biblical texts are filled with astrology. The three wise men were actually magi, okay? That they followed the what? The North Star, which is up in heaven. Come on, you guys. I mean, it's all in there. So what I'm teaching, hi Sharon. So what I'm teaching you today is understand what is happening in real time. Why am I feeling heavy? Why am I feeling confused? Why am I feeling like I don't understand what the heck is going on? Why am I'm feeling shaken? I am going to explain this to you today. So this is about real life movements. And these real life movements are called transits, okay? So now let me go back through my notes so I can go back to make sure you understand what transits are before we move forward. Transits are where the planets are in the sky together. day. All right. So compared to where they were when you were born. So you have two transits that we're thinking about. That's why I told everybody you need to get your birth chart. You should have your birth chart in front of you when we're doing these classes. All right. So you need to see two things. Where your birth chart, where the planets were when you were born. That's your birth chart. And if you're pulling that, you need to ask it to pull your natal, your progressed, and the transits. That's all three. And you need that on astro.com. And I've already taught you guys how to get that. All right. But those are the three that you need. You need to put in the date of today or whatever date in the future. Hi, Lakia, that you're wanting to use. All right. So this is so important. So your birth chart again is fixed. It's what was happening in the sky when you were born into the world. All right. But there's also the planets are moving every second, every minute. All right. So you need to know, well, where is this planet right now? And how is that affecting my chart? These are the questions that we need to start understanding how to answer. This is the area that people are getting so lost in. All right. All right. So, and so why do they matter? Why do these transits matter? Why is it important for me to understand this? Why at certain times you feel brave? You have to ask yourself this. Why at certain days of the week you might feel heavy, right? Why sometimes you feel like everything is just flowing like clockwork, right? Why do you feel like sometimes there's sudden changes that occur in your life? Why are these things happening? That's not random. That's timing. Why sometimes you wake up in the morning and you might feel gloomy or sad and you don't know why, or you don't feel as happy as you did. You have to understand you are being affected. All right. So some points that we need to glean from this is that you need to begin to ask yourself and understand what area of your life is being activated from the planets above, because this is what's happening. What lessons are unfolding in your life right now that you are needing to learn, that you may be turning from learning or rejecting the lesson that is right before you, because those planets moving, they're going to push that out of you. I am telling you right now, you are going to get in order, whether you want to or life, because Earth is our school. Earth is where we're learning how to live, how to operate, how to be in unity with one another. This is our school. And so if you're rejecting or if you're fighting the lessons, it's going to be harder for you. That's why we're doing all this, so you can understand how you need to operate on a daily basis, right? And what energy are you being asked to work with? Right? What energy is happening? Are you being asked to work with an energy of having more love and compassion for people? Are you needing to work with an energy where you're needing to have more discipline and structure in your life? Right? Are you getting to? So let me tell you how this plays out in your everyday life. Are you getting to work late every day? Right? When you tell somebody you're going to do something, do you do it? Okay. Are you someone that greets people in love? Or you want to, when people walk up to you, they don't want to speak to you because you have a fixated look on your face of being mean or not approachable? Okay. Are you helpful? This is what I'm talking about, these everyday energies. So when these planets are moving in different signs and in different houses, it's forcing us to deal with some things. When the planets are in the fourth house, which represents family, home, mother, it's going to cause a reaction in your life with those areas. I am telling you, well, we're going to get to it, because I'm going to show you firsthand. I'm going to give you some proof. So hang on. Okay, don't sign off, because I am going to give you the proof today. Y'all know I come with receipts. Okay? I come with receipts. So, what it looks like when these planets are moving. Okay, how does this act? So listen to this. And I'm talking about the inner planets. We know we have inner planets and we have outer planets, but I want you to understand the type of energies. Okay, we're going deeper than we ever had before. So if we're dealing with the planet Mercury, all right, if we're dealing with the planet Mercury, this is why we freak out when Mercury goes into retrograde, because Mercury represents communications. Mercury represents how we think. Mercury represents ideas. Okay, all communication that's under Mercury's umbrella. Okay, Mercury also represents the school thinking. Okay, that's what it represents. So if you're dealing with the planet of Mercury, you're dealing with your communication, how you're speaking, how you're thinking, how you're writing text, how you're writing emails. This is what it deals with. Now, if you're dealing with the planet of Venus, Venus represents your money. Venus represents love. Venus represents relationships. All right. Now, how about Mars? If we're thinking about Mars, Mars is action. Okay. Mars is conflict. Mars is problems. Mars is drive. Mars is how you deal with your anger in situations. Saturn is lessons, it's structure, it's discipline. Okay. It's pressure. And then you have Jupiter, which represents growth, which represents expansion. All right. This is so important to begin to understand. So the planet tells you what kind of energy is actually showing up every day. Okay, this is how you relate this to every day, your daily life. This is how it relates. So where these planets are is going to show on how you're interacting on a daily basis. Are we getting this? Give a thumbs up to this live if you're getting this and you're understanding this. Give a thumbs up, you guys. Okay. And also remember, if you give a thumbs up to the live, it helps push it out a little further. So help us out. Okay. And push this out a little further. So let's talk about the signs. Okay. How the energy is expressing itself. So for example, let's use Venus. So if Venus is in the sign of Aries, this is going to be a bold love. Okay. It's going to be very bold. So let's just say your Venus is in Aries and in the first house, you're going to express yourself through a bold love. That means you're going to actually verbally state how you want to be loved, and you're going to verbally state what you don't like in love, because it's all about you. Okay, you're going to be very bold in your actions where it comes to love. This is going to be somebody who's not going to hold back. Okay, they're going to be very expressive in love, and you have to begin to understand that. So if we talk about someone who has Venus in Pisces, this person is going to be very emotional. Okay, they're going to be very emotional where it comes to love. They're going to be very affected where it comes to love. They're going to be probably someone who dreams about sitting on the beach with their loved one, having very vivid dreams at nighttime. This is what I'm talking about. And this Venus and Pisces person might be someone who is very spiritual. They want to have a spiritual connection with the person that they're with. All right. So now I just gave you that as an example. There's so many examples I can give, but I'm just trying to show you that in your chart, where you were born matters and where it is now matters, because it's all affecting you. It's hitting every day, and both parts matter. So you have to begin to understand that. But this is the most important part that we need to talk about: the house where it is in your life. So if you go back and you'll look at some of the other episodes, I talked about something called angular houses. All right. So the first house is you, self-identity, everything about you. That fourth house is home, it's family. That seventh house is your relationships, not just your romantic relationships, your love relationships, right? It could be business partnerships. It could be sibling relationship, any type of relationships, but it could be a marriage. All right. All of that matters. And then your 10th house, which is about career, which is about the public platform, which is about you being out in the public, but at a higher level, being seen by the world. Okay. And your job and your career, all of that is under the 10th house. So this is why it matters, right? It's the planet tells you the what. Okay. The sign is going to show you how it's doing it, how it's doing. And then the house is going to show you where all of this energy is occurring in your life. In your life. I hope y'all are getting this. I hope you are starting to understand this, because this is serious here. All right. So when a planet is moving and it touches your birth planets, your born planets, okay, where the planets were when you were born. So if a planet is kind of moving, and like for example, for me, when I told y'all that solar eclipse came in at my exact degree in Aquarius, it hit at the exact point, and I literally had an explosion in my life that very day. It was an explosion. Okay, just ain't no other way to say it was an explosion, and it hit exactly. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared because I was not studying my chart for the solar eclipse. So if I had studied my chart and I knew something was about to go down, I would have been prepared for it. I wasn't prepared. And it wasn't until after the fact where I went back and I checked my chart, and everything just made sense. It made sense. And then I had to understand, in our lives, sometimes things happen to clear things away that doesn't serve our higher good. Does it hurt? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that as we experience life, you're not going to experience painful situations. You are going to experience painful situations. You are going to experience betrayals. You are going to experience situations that might cause you to lose money. You are going to experience these things, but it has to happen. These falls have to happen to push you to your higher vibrational point, to push you to your higher good, to bring out that better side of you that's going to get you out of these situations. And in order for it to happen, you have to have things that happen in your life to push this stuff, this junk out, to bring the good in. Is this making sense to you? Give a thumbs up if it's making sense to you guys. Okay. So Saturn hitting your moon, this is going to be an emotional heaviness, but it's going to be growth. It's going to be maturity, right? This is what this might look like. Jupiter hitting your sun is going to give you confidence. It's going to give you expansion. It's going to give you an opportunity. So you need to know when these things are happening in your chart. You need to have an understanding of when it's happening, and what is happening, and how it's happening. You have to. So these transits, they just don't create things out of nowhere. It just doesn't pop out of nowhere. Okay. It activates what's already inside your chart. What's already inside your chart. It's activating that. What is already there. The problem is we aren't educated enough to know how to read it. This is the stuff they should have been putting in school. This is the stuff that we should have been taught, right? To have an understanding. Hi, Deborah, how are you? Right? These are the things that we should have an education in, to know how to read who we are. So now I'm just not going to teach you this. I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I'm going to show you from my own chart, and I'm going to be very transparent with you guys today on how these movements, these transits, how it affected me. So you should have your chart in front of you, all right? Because this is where astrology really becomes real in our life. This is where you're going to begin to see it in your own life. So I'm going to give you some time periods. I'm going to give you some real hard information. And I want you to think back in your mind on what was happening to you during these time periods that I'm going to bring forth. Okay. All right. So now let me pull up my chart, and let's take a look. And so we can begin to show you how this looks in real time energy. All right. Let me find the window. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to bring you guys in. Hold on, let me save that. Whew. All right. Let me try to make this big. Give me a second. Let's view this. One page. Okay. Well, let's make this a little bigger. Give me a second, you guys, so I can adjust this so you guys can see it. Okay. All right. That should be good. Let's do it right there. There we go. All right. Let me see how it looks. Okay. Are we good? Okay. We should be good. Give a thumbs up if you guys can see that. Okay. Let me make sure. Let me hear from somebody to make sure you can kind of see it. Okay. Let me make it just a little bigger. There we go. Because that's where I need to be, right there. Okay, we're good? Okay, good. All right, I'm just getting thumbs up. Okay, that should be much better. All right. Now, what we're going to deal with today is I'm going to deal with the planet Uranus. Okay. Now, I want everybody right now on your phone, I want you to pull up what Uranus looks like so you can see in my chart where it is. So if you're looking at 12th house, if you're looking at 12th house, you'll see the red are the transits right now. This is literally where the planets are in the sky right now, according to my chart. Now, everybody's chart is going to be different. This is why when you go to astro.com and you go to chart extensions and you click that one, I want you to pull down the chart that says natal, progression, and transits, because it's going to give you all three. So let's explain this. So the black represents where the planets were when I was born. Okay. If you look at the planets on the outside, that's where the planets are right now in my chart. So the moon, the moon travels every 2 days. So it's going to be in a different location every 2 days. So you have the moon where it was when you were born into the world. Then you have the moon as it's traveling now. Now, there's some major transits that are happening. So that means the planets are right now sitting in a certain position in the sky. They're literally sitting in a specific position in the sky. Okay. So that's what the red is. The red is where the planets are sitting right now in the sky. So when we pull our birth chart, it's going to show us where the planets are sitting right now in the sky and how that aligns with our birth chart. So once again, the inner black is where the sky was when we were born into the world. It's like somebody took a camera and they took a snapshot of the exact points of where all the planets were at that point when you were born. All right. That's the black in the inside. And you see the houses, that's exactly how it was. When I look at the green, as the planets are traveling, that's where the signs are right now in our lives. Okay. Right now. This is where they are right now. And then the red ones are where they are right now, but these are the ones that are like being activated, like right now in our chart. These are the ones that's like on fire. Okay, so to speak, in our chart. Okay, these are the ones that are hitting kind of heavy in our chart. All right. So I want to hone in on Uranus right now, you guys, because Uranus, it's an outer planet. Okay. And right now, if you're looking at my chart, it's in my 12th house, which is a serious one, a serious house. Okay. The 8th and the 12th are like serious impacting places for planets to be. All right. But Uranus, and let me give you the dates of Uranus. Let's just talk about this for a minute. Uranus stays in a house for about 8 years. All right. And I remember this so vividly. This is when I was starting to learn about the power of Uranus. And I was really excited when Uranus went into Taurus. And let me give you the date. And I want you to think back in your own life during this time. Uranus went into Taurus May 15th, 2018. So let's just stop for a minute. I want you to think about in your life what was happening the first part of 2018 in your life. And I want you to give a 2 in the chat. Let's do a 3. Give a 3 in the chat if you can remember what was happening in your life. No. Not a 3. Let's put an 18 in there because I want to be very specific with this. Put an 18 in the chat if you can remember what was going on in your life. Let's just say the first half of 2018. Because I let me put mine in there because I remember very vividly what was happening in my life. Very vividly do I remember what was occurring in my life in 2018. And I'm going to tell you in a minute. I'm trying to show y'all how serious this is. So I want you to think back in 2018. And around May 2018, Uranus went into the sign of Taurus, May 15th, 2018. Put an 18 in the chat if you can remember what was happening in your life during that time. Okay. So while we're putting these 8, because we have a couple people that remember where they were in 2018. In my life, what was happening in 2018 was I was literally preparing to move out of my house and leave my ex-husband. I was literally preparing. I had gotten the paperwork for an apartment and I was leaving. I made up my mind March 2018, I was going. Okay. April 2018, it was actually on my birthday. I signed the paperwork for my apartment and I could not move because they were waiting for the apartment that I wanted to be released. But I was already in action to do this. Do y'all see how serious this is? I need you to see this. I need you to have an understanding of what Uranus looks like. Okay. And at that time, I had no idea the impact of Uranus, but I was excited because what I was hearing about Uranus is that it helps with your money. I was real excited about that. I was like, oh my gosh, Uranus is about to enter into Taurus. Okay. And I'm a Taurus sun. I was excited. Okay. I got Mars in Taurus and I'm, a Taurus sun. I was excited, not knowing all hell was about to break loose. No lie. I didn't know about that part. Okay. I just knew about it because I needed to study more and I had not studied more. Okay. At that point, I was just studying all the good stuff, but I wasn't aware of what happened. So let me give you the dates for Uranus and Taurus. May 15th of 2018, and it stayed all the way up to July 7th, 2025. Okay. Then it's going to retrograde from November 7th, 2025 to April 25th, 2026. So let me explain to you what that means. So from May 15th, 2018, all the way up to July 7th, 2025, it was in Taurus. For a small window of time, which was July 7th, 2025 to November 7th, 2025, it moved into Gemini. Okay, so from that time period right there, July 7th, 2025 to November 7th, 2025, it moved into Gemini. And when it moved into Gemini during those couple of months, it gave us like a snapshot of what to expect when Uranus moves into Gemini. All right. So now from November 7th, 2025, all the way up to April 25th, 2026. So we have a couple more weeks left of Uranus being in Taurus. It's there right now. Okay. We got a couple more months left of it being in Taurus. So what it's doing is it's finishing up everything that it started in 2018. Is this making sense to you? Put a thumbs up in the chat if it's making sense, because I need it to make sense to you. What it's doing right now is everything, all the bull that it started in 2018, because I'm telling you, it did some damage with me. Everything is shook up, okay? What's the sudden changes, the sudden impact that we experienced during that 2018, okay? It's finishing up now. It's coming to an end. Okay, so the shakeup that you experience in your life during that time, now these last couple of months, why is it's cleaning up? It's cleaning up everything. Okay, and so Uranus is now going to be moving into Gemini April 25th, 2026, and it's going to stay there till May 22nd, 2033. So if you are a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, get ready. Now, this is why I wanted to use my chart today, because I'm about to experience Uranus again for the next 8 years. Whew. Because I am a Taurus sun and a Gemini rising. So Uranus is with me again. Okay? And I'm bracing. Oh, how I'm bracing. Thank God, because mine was a deep shaking. Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell. Do y'all see now? Y'all got to admit. You have to admit. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. So you might as well get to the point that you understand it. Okay? You might as well get to the point that you know how to flow. Almighty CJ Flash. I know. I understand the eyes. And that's at first when I realized what was going down and where it's going now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was shooketh. I was internally shooketh. Okay? Because all of this is happening in my 12th house. Okay? It's a huge, it's a, how can I put this into words? It's internally deep what's happening. Okay? Internally deep. Okay, I know you was with me on that because you felt it. You felt it. It's internally deep, but at the same time, it's mentally and spiritually taking me places I've never gone before. And this is why I can come before you guys week after week after week, and I can teach you. And I feel like you feel it. I feel like I can touch you, right? You can touch me. You can feel me through this screen. Give a 1 if you understand what I'm saying, because there's a connection here that even you can't describe. So this is what it looks like. It's taken me to places where what I say and what I give to you through this screen, you feel it. Okay? And I had to go through all of this sudden impact for you to get an understanding of this, right? For you to be able to have this connection with me that is taking you to other places in your life. So that's why even when I used to do these, when I was in the church, I would do something called Women of the Well, and I would invite, y'all have heard me talk about that from time to time. And every Friday, every third Friday, we would actually have a service. And it had gotten to the point, and it had grown so, oh my God, it had grown so fast on the college campuses, to the point that I couldn't even have enough. I didn't have enough people to contain the amount of people that we were getting in. It was just that crazy of the expansion. That was a time in my life of growth, right? That was a time of my life of spiritual growth. But all of this had to happen with the highs and the lows. And the lows. Oh, we're going to talk about the lows in a minute, because the lows had to happen to keep pushing me, pushing me, pulling it out of me. Places I was afraid to go. I would never have done this YouTube thing like this 10 years ago. Not happening. Absolutely not. No. Terrified. Okay. I would have been terrified. But I had to grow to this point. So let's keep moving, because we need to talk about, because like I said before, Taurus is finishing up. Uranus is in Taurus is finishing up. And it's going to be there to April 25th, 2026. But let me talk about what Uranus being in Taurus and what it meant for your life, our lives. Okay. So Taurus represents stability. We know that, right? It represents money. So your money was shaken during this time. Your security may have been shaken during this time, and your identity may have been shaken during this time. You might have asked yourself, who am I? Right? Who am I? Who am I trying to be? I don't even know who I am anymore. You may have said this during this 8-year period. Some of you may have moved. Some of you may have lost jobs. Some of you may have been foreclosed upon. Some of you may have been evicted. Some of you may have had your money stolen, right? All of this stuff, right? Some of you may have had to get new roommates in. You didn't get along with your roommates. You may have had to leave your parents' house. It's a lot that could have happened during this time of shaking you up, right? Of hurting your security. So Uranus in Taurus, it shook all of that. All right. So what are some other things you could have experienced? You could have experienced some financial changes in your life. Okay. Relationship shifts that could have happened. See, all of this stuff happened to me when I decided to leave. Okay. When I decided to walk away, all of that was shook up in my life. All of it. Even my identity changed to who I was. I wasn't a wife anymore. Right? I wasn't in this big, beautiful home anymore. All of that changed. My whole identity changed. I went through from a beautiful big house. I mean, we had the house with the picket fence, with the dogs. We had it all. But when I decided to leave, it all went south, and it shook up everything, because I wanted to live a true life. I didn't want to live in the hidden shadows anymore of what truth really was. My relationship shifted painfully. See, I'm telling y'all, think back to 2018. We had to leave our comfort zones. That's what took place in 2018. Where you felt most comfortable, it was shook up, right? We had to, I keep saying we had to break those old patterns in our life. It had to be broken. And this is the thing. This is why it had to happen during 2018, because we were given the warning signs in 2015, in 2016, in 2017, and you didn't do anything. So Uranus said, okay, you're not going to move. You already know this ain't working. You know it ain't working. This is Uranus talking to us. You know it's not working. How you're getting your money is not working. Your relationship is not working. Your stability is not working. Your security, it's not working. So I'm coming in and I'm shaking it up. And boy, did it shake it up. Did it shake it up. All right. So for me, it wasn't just about just those changes, right? This was a complete internal awakening. No, it was a complete internal awakening, you guys. Complete internal awakening. So Uranus hasn't just been changing my life on the outside. It's been changing everything that I could no longer ignore. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Okay. I couldn't turn a blind eye to it. Now I was being forced to be in a situation where I had to deal with this stuff. I had to deal with all of it, right? So what this transit did, and it's going to be doing again, it's going to be breaking all the subconscious patterns. All right. All the things that subconsciously I'm not dealing with, is going to bring it to the forefront and make us deal with it. It's going to expose hidden truths. All right. So this is what Uranus and Taurus, Uranus moving to Gemini. These are things that you can expect. Okay, that you should have dealt with, but if you didn't, these are things that is going to be coming to the forefront that you're going to have to. And all of us right now are having a spiritual awakening. If you're in the school, we had a spiritual awakening last night, did we not? When reality came to us, give a thumbs up in the chat. Did we all not have to have a spiritual awakening last night to reality? Right? This is where we go from isolated information to now having clarity. And it's happening for all of us. And this is what I'm telling you at a more specific level. It will happen in different places in your chart. Is this making sense now? So you have to see where all of this activity is taking place in your chart, in that house, in that sign, because that's how it's playing out. That's how you get more specific with this information. So it's happening to us as a whole, but then we can break it down to specific areas in our life on where we need to have a revelation on and have an understanding. This is where we have to get to the point, you guys, that we have to release the old identities. I am not the same Sherry I was in 2018. I'm not. I am totally different now. Okay? You're not the same person you were in 2018 because Uranus came in and shook all that up, right? And so this is where sometimes you might have these endings that are going to be a quiet ending. So for example, when I say a quiet ending, let's just say from 2018 all the way up to April 2020, April 25th, 2026. Some of you all have been changing privately. But now with Uranus going into Gemini, it's going to be public. It's going to be a public awareness because it's going to be how you communicate with others. Is this making sense now? Are you starting to understand? Remember now, Gemini is about communication, how we communicate. So everything that was quietly ending is now going to be more of a public awareness on how you're changing, how others are going to begin to see you. So let me show you how that happened in my life, and I'm going to show you how the setup happened because y'all going to see this from my own chart. So now you should have already seen Uranus in the 12th house, the little red thing that's sticking out, right? Looks like that with a little body, okay? Uranus right now is in Taurus in my 12th house. And as you can see, as it's moving, it's right there on the line. It's right there about like the 26th degree of Taurus in my 12th house. Very soon, which we know will be, July? What's the dates for? July, I want the specific dates. Give me a second. It will move into Gemini April 25th, 2026. All right, so in a couple weeks, April 25th, 2026, Uranus will move out of Taurus and it's going to move into Gemini. But as you guys can see, it's still going to be in my 12th house, right? So I need to really continue to understand how that 12th house feels, which I already have because my spiritual awakening has just been through the roof. And it's going to continue in that space, but now it's actually playing out in the aspects of Gemini, which represents communication. So for those that's in the school, you know what's about to come out real soon. I'm not going to mention it here because it's not time yet on a public forum. But if you're in the school, how deeper can you get with communication? Okay. Than what I've been telling you guys is about to drop. Can you get any more clear with communication than that? And if you're in the school, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that's what it does. When I think about all the legal situations I've had to deal with over the 8 years, and actually bringing forth my voice to the point that I created a team of people who help other people now find their voice in defending themselves in court cases. Okay. You guys, we're making judges stand down now. We weren't able to do that a couple of years ago. They're literally standing down. They're literally recruiting themselves off of cases. This is things that were not happening a few years ago. But our voice has gotten to the point, and when I say our voice, that's writing or speaking, we've gotten to the point now that we're making them stand down. We're making corporations refund monies that they've stolen from us in the de facto. These are things that we are doing, and we have receipts for it. Okay. And you all can hear the passion in my voice now that we're not playing any games. We are not playing any games. Okay. We are fighting for people to get homes that they have lost through foreclosure. Okay. We can fight evictions. We can fight if somebody tows your car and make the tow company pay you. These are things that we've learned how to do. So our voices are stronger now. And this is what Uranus and Gemini looks like. Okay. It's an awakening. It's having, again, passion in your voice when you speak, how you write, how you articulate. So this is the same thing that's going to happen with you, but it's just, so for me, it's happening through my 12th house, which is what? Spiritual. So I'm going to connect people with their spirituality to know how to do this in another plane, okay, in another space, whereas you can bring it down from above onto earth. So you can begin to tap into your power that you were born with, right? This to me is church. This is what church looks like. When you can begin to empower other people to tap into their power that you already have, to begin to see yourself differently than you have ever seen yourself before. All right. So this is what this looks like. This is what this understanding looks like. This is what the full activation looks like. Okay. So when a planet is in a different house, once again, you're going to experience things differently. You're going to experience it differently. And this is why you have to become comfortable in understanding your chart and knowing how to read your chart. And if you haven't watched my other episodes in this, you need to go back to episode 1 and you need to watch it so you can have an understanding on how to read this. All right. So let's just talk about, again, I'm using my chart as an example, where I am right now, right? Where everything is right now, internally for me. Okay, internally. Okay. So when Uranus moves into Gemini, that's when you are going to see a new version of me. And I'm going to tell you, the new version started last night. I am not lying to you. And for those that's in the school, after sitting through that meeting, oh, believe me, the new version started last night. I am not playing any games. Okay. If you're in that school, let me just tell you, you are protected. You're protected. We're going to shift gears a little bit and we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving. That's right. If you're in the school, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not in the school, you need to join us. Okay, there it is right there coming across. You need to join us. But oh yes, you about to see a whole new version of Sherry. I'm not playing any games, right? So let's just talk about where everything is now. I have the internal awakening. I'm letting go of things that no longer serve my higher good. And there's a spiritual shift that has occurred. This is what happened when Uranus was in the 12th house in Taurus. Now it's going to be moving to the 12th house in Gemini, and then it's going to be the latter part of the years. It's going to eventually be in my first house of Gemini. So this is where I'm going. So this is a whole identity rebirth. Okay, this is for me. All right. This is going to be a new presence. This is going to be a new life direction from me. And if you've been with me, you can actually physically see this happening in my life. You see the transition because the transition is moving to a place where it's more impactful for others. So if you're listening under the sound of my voice, these transitions that's happening to me It's personally affecting you, and that's what it's supposed to do. And that's what it's doing. And last week we talked about life path numbers. So I'm operating out of that 33 now because you're being impacted. Okay. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, has it been painful? Absolutely. It has been extremely painful. Let's not talk about, let's not eliminate talking about that part. It has been, I have had to deal with some stuff, y'all. You have no idea the things that I've had to deal with. So, soon you'll find out the things I've had to deal with. But when you begin to understand the blows that I've had to come from under, you're going to see where this new voice has come from. You're going to have a thorough understanding of where this new voice has come from. And even in your own life, you all have been through some stuff too. I know you have, right? But what I want you to do now is to look at your birth chart and understand where all of this is happening, right? I didn't lose who I was, okay? I didn't lose who I was. I want to make sure you're understanding this. I just outgrew who I was. Okay, I didn't lose the essence of who Sherry is still there, but I had to outgrow that space that I lived in to be able to operate out of this new space. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Put a thumbs up in the chat if that makes sense what I'm saying. Put a thumbs up. So you have to understand that when these transits happen, they don't happen to you. They happen through you. So you have to begin to understand what is happening through me, right? What are the changes that are happening through me when the heavens start to speak? Because this is about the heavens speaking through us on a daily basis, on an hour-to-hour basis. So if you don't understand this, how can you operate, you guys? Right? How can you really operate? You can't. You have to understand this. You have to understand these movements, these awakenings. So your homework is to find out where Uranus is in your chart right now. Understanding that it's finishing up what it did to you in Taurus beginning May 2018. It's sweeping up, it's cleaning up because it's getting ready to move into its next room, okay? Which will be April 25th, 2026, in just a couple weeks. It's preparing, it's getting dressed for its movement, okay, into its next space. Now with me, let me kind of break this down. It's not moving into a new house. It's used to that house. It's just changing what it's wearing and how it's going to behave. Is that making sense? It's not changing a house yet. It's not changing its location. It's just how it's communicating in that space is changing. It's moving now into more of communication. So you're going to see me possibly communicating in very different ways real soon. And for some of you already know what that is, right? Where it is in your chart, we can help you with that. If you need to understand how to read this space, we can offer that to you. Okay, so you can just go to the link.bio/I am Dr. Sherry, or you can just go back and watch these episodes and learn how to do it yourself. And it's not just my stuff. This stuff is out there everywhere, you guys. You got to begin to apply yourself so you can do it yourself. It's this new space is about empowerment. Okay? It's about empowering. Now, I do give all of the transits for the month on that link bio. So when you go to link bio/I am Dr. Sherry, I will be releasing the April transits, probably the ending part of today. So you'll begin to see all the major transits that's happening in April, just like I've been doing every month. So stay tapped in. Stay tapped in. For those who continue to sow into what I'm doing, I thank you so much. I thank you so much. Y'all don't have any idea. I don't care how small it is. So for some people, they just give $5. And that's $5 I know that they probably could have spent on anything else that might have been their lunch, and they sacrificed that to give to me. So if you want to sew into me, if you feel what I'm doing, okay, there's Cash App, $ I am Dr. Sherry. Venmo is the @ at I am Dr. Sherry, or Zelle is I am Dr. Sherry at gmail.com. Because when you do that, we exchange energies, you guys. It makes you feel good because you're planting, and it makes me feel good because I'm growing. Okay. So I thank you so much. And join me back here next Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're tapped into the Private Life Show, it's probably going to be at a different time and day this week. I'm probably going to have it on Thursday. But just stay tapped into that. All right. Okay. I love you guys so much. And join the school. Join the school. Let's keep growing and loving. Until next time. Bye.